All right, welcome back, everybody. Tony, No Guts, No Gluten. And today we're going to be making some beef vegetable soup. It's getting cold, colder, not cold yet. And I figured this is a good, yes, it's gluten free, but it's beef, vegetables, beef broth. So it's naturally, gluten free. As long as the beef broth is gluten free. All right, let's get started. All right, so my beef broth is gluten free. Says it right there. So we're going to start off with 4 cartons. Excuse me. All right. 4 cartons are going in. All right, to that, we're going to add 1 medium-sized onion. And we're going to kind of do this in big chunks, so to speak, because it's more or less just a flavor. So probably just go down the middle and then third them. All right. Now let's get this on the stove, and we're going to bring this up to about a boil to start off, and then I'm going to cut up the meat, and we're going to put the meat in. All right, and I just got some chuck steak that was on sale. I'll bring it down so you can see. So we're just going to go ahead and cube them up, and if you don't want to be bothered cubing them, you can buy the steak already cubed, but we're just going to bite-sized pieces. Probably do this one in thirds again. All right, I'll get that chopped up and I'll be back. All right, we're going to give that a little bit of seasoning. You can, because we're going to put it right in the beef broth. And it's going to kind of boil in there. All right, I'm going to go add this in. And if you see any pieces a little bit bigger than bite size, go ahead and cut them down. All right, I'll get that in there. All right, when I was at my local grocery store shopping for the vegetables and stuff today, I saw gluten-free beef base and chicken base. It says gluten-free right there. So never heard of this brand before, but when you're ever buying this kind of stuff, you want to look, I guess, right there, that it says gluten-free, because a lot of these aren't gluten-free. So that was a plus. All right, now, depending on what you want to do, for your vegetable soup, and again, it's your vegetable soup. So if you don't like peas, don't put peas in it. If you don't like carrots, don't put carrots in it. But I'm a vegetable lover, and I'm going to put cabbage, zucchini, and basically the rest, vegetables, carrots, peas, Carrots, peas, green beans, corn, whatever else, comes in the frozen bag of vegetables. And then, I'm going to add to this. I'm also going to add spinach to it because it's my vegetable soup and I'm making it how I want. So, all right, I'm going to go get the cabbage ready because I'm going to put that in because that needs to cook too, but I'm going to put that in just right before the beef, is done. And I had in a pot behind me over there, I have the 4 quarts of beef broth, 1 medium-sized onion in in thirds, chunked instead of diced or sliced or anything like that, and some salt and pepper that I put on the beef. So that's it for now. And then I'm going to get everything cut up and get ready to go. It's simple, easy. And again, whatever vegetables you like, go ahead and put in. I'm going to also add some diced tomatoes and some potatoes. Now, if you want to, I got canned potatoes because I'm kind of, they're just, I think, better in the soup than if you want to, you're more than welcome to dice your own potatoes and all that. But I'm just going to, if you want to be lazy and just get everything in a can, you can do that too. So, all right, I'm going to get that started and I'll be back. All right, for the cabbage, I got maybe about a quarter of the head. It was a pretty big head. So we're just going to make nice size ribs. And these I'm just, break them up a little bit. All right, so that's it for the cabbage. And I'm gonna check the meat here and see how that's doing. And then I'm gonna do the zucchini next. So you wanna get a bowl, you can throw that in a bowl and then you can go onto your zucchini. And all right, I'm gonna get that ready and I'll be back. All right, now we're gonna add the cabbage. I checked the beef and it was thoroughly on its way. And then once you start seeing, how much this is gonna build up, you're probably thinking, should have got a bigger pot. And you're probably gonna be right. All right, we're gonna let that go. Then I'm gonna go get the zucchini ready. All right. Now we're gonna add the zucchini. And I just cut it in half, then in half again. And so I basically quartered the zucchini. So we'll let that go ahead and cook. Now that really is the only other things that I guess I didn't get through that one all the way. But it would have broke up in the cooking process. This is really the meat, the cabbage, and the zucchini. And I did a bad job. Is the only things you basically really have to cook because the other vegetables are already vegetable, in the can or in the frozen, so they're basically cooked already. And I have to sharpen my knife. All right. And then we'll let this go for about, I don't know, 15 more minutes. And then we'll start adding the other vegetables. And then once this goes, if you want to give it a taste to see if it needs salt, pepper, whatever seasonings you want to put in there, that's up to you. So we'll let this go, and then we'll be back to taste it and then add the vegetables. All right, now that we come up to a boil, we're going to go ahead and turn it down to simmer. Okay, and go ahead and give it a stir. Smells good. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it a taste. See if we need to add any salt, pepper, any other seasonings. And if you wanted just to make this vegetarian, use vegetable stock, of course, and don't add the beef. Oh yeah. Don't need to add any seasoning to that. So we'll give a zucchini a try to see. And if you have any of your meat that you want the fat for flavor, just go ahead and leave that piece whole so you can pick it out, and who's ever eating your soup's not getting a big hunk of fat, but you need that fat for flavor. All right, and it's probably about another 10 more minutes for the zucchini. Oh, very hot. Well, that's probably about right where you want it, because we're going to cook this again, let it cook once we add the other vegetables. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just add the other vegetables. So I'll get those in there, and then I'll be back. All right, so the potatoes are going in. So something happened to my mic here. I lost the audio, but now I'm just adding the rest of the vegetables. So I just put in the potatoes. Now the spinach goes in. And I'm just going to keep adding vegetables. So, yeah, I don't know what happened to the mic. And, not having a camera person to say, hey, the mic's not on. So this is the pack of frozen vegetables. I believe that was a 12-ounce packet. Nothing's what it used to be. Those used to be 16 ounces, a pound. You just give it a quick stir. Just going to go ahead and add the rest of the vegetables. I think I got some carrots, some peas and corn, and before I do that, I'm going to take some out of this pot and bring it back to another pot because I said I should have got a bigger pot, and I always make this mistake. So yeah, it's not a mistake, but just make sure you have a big pot for what you're using. And I just used, transferred some over to this other pot, and then I added the rest of the vegetables. That one over there. Then the tomato sauce. A little bit in that one. The rest in that one. Then we'll use some of the juice to rinse out the can. Then we got the peas and corn going in. Then the canned vegetables are going to add some saltiness to it, so that's why we didn't have to season a lot other than the seasoning we put on the meat. All right, I think we got carrots and green beans next. Carrots. And then these are all drained vegetables. And the tomatoes. And again, if you don't like the tomatoes, don't add the tomatoes. Or any other vegetable. All right. We're going to let everything marinate in there and get happy. And then we'll be back to try some soup. All right, soup's on. Ooh, yeah. Give you a smell-o-vision there. That's a good. Oops, as I splash it on myself. Bring you down. Ooh. Super hot. And up we go. You guys really need to like and subscribe to the channel. So once I start making money, I can afford a camera person. So there's the first bite I'm going to take. Pretty good. So it's quick and easy. And, winter's on its way. Keep this in the refrigerator. You can freeze it and get it out a couple days before you want it. And, yeah, cheap, simple, and easy and delicious. One more bite. Perfect. All right. That's it for today's episode. No guts, no gluten. And again, the only thing you have to make sure of is the beef broth or any soups that you're going to make, besides cream soups, that the stock is, gluten-free. And like I said, with these two finds today, if, you want to use some of this when you're cold, you have a cold and you just want some, broth, try some of this. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. There's going to be more videos coming up. And if there's something you'd like me to try, please feel free to let me know. And, I'll make it if I can. And I'll fake it if I can't. All right. And get you some of those by liking and subscribing to the channel and letting me know you want one. All right. Thank you much. Till next time. Bye-bye.